Hey YouTube, it's your girl, Dr. J, the Midlife Writer, and the observation of South Korea that I want to talk about today is malls. Now, I am a big fan of malls, probably because I am a Gen Xer, and so we were young, teenagers, young adults, at a time when malls were a big deal. Everybody went to malls, there was so much to do. And so I'm always going to feel nostalgic about malls, especially with the decline of malls in the United States. You just don't really have a lot of places where that old style mall culture is still in effect. I mean, I see it a little bit in some places in the Northeast. I know the Providence Mall in Rhode Island. I love Arundel Mills in Maryland. Really amazing. And, they get me all excited when I'm there. However, it wasn't until I came to South Korea that I realized just how much I missed malls and just how amazing malls can be. So, when I talk about mall culture, I am telling you that in South Korea, they take malls to a whole other level. For instance, when we go to there's a specific mall that we go to quite a bit here in South Korea, and what you have to realize when you go to a mall in South Korea is that it's not just for clothes shopping, shoe shopping, that sort of stuff. Like you can do all of that in the mall, but generally when you go to a mall in South Korea, it's not just going to be, two or three stories high. Generally, they're going to be five, six, seven, eight stories, and oftentimes they're going to have a lot more than just retail establishments. The food is amazing that you can get at a mall in South Korea. A lot of times when we think of food courts in the United States, we're thinking more of fast food type restaurants, maybe a little bit of like Chinese cuisine, but it's just going to be really quick takeaway sort of thing. If you sit down for a meal, you're going to be sitting down for, maybe 20 minutes at the most. But when you get to a food court in a South Korean mall, you're going to have so many opportunities to have just amazing food. And it's going to be a lot of traditional South Korean type meals. So you're going to be able to find bulgogi and bibimbap and all those sort of things. But you're also going to have some other Asian style meals. I've seen some Italian, some Indian, and you have some burger places as well. But a lot of times you're going to go in and it's going to be about the experience. So you're not going to see a lot of to-go boxes because a lot of times your meals, they are going to come, you're going to have your main dish, might also come with a soup, it'll come with some sides, it'll come with some kimchi, and it you really are going to sit down and you're going to have a dining experience, but you're going to spend money that's very similar to what it costs to have a full meal at sometimes even a fast food restaurant, but definitely along the lines of, maybe a lunch style meal at Chili's or Applebee's or Outback or something like that. So, kind of those sort of prices. But I know right before I left the United States, even getting fast food, if you got a combo meal, you were going to be looking at 10, 11, 12, $13. And so that's what you're going to be spending the equivalent of US 10, 12, $13 for a full sit down meal with all the fixings at a mall in South Korea. So that's part of it. They also have wonderful bakeries with fresh baked goods. Now, I'm a fan of Auntie Anne's pretzels, right? Like, she gets me through airports and malls and all that sort of stuff when I'm in the US. But I'm talking about full on bakeries that have all the stuff that make your mouth water, and you have all these pastries that they're not just good but they're also beautiful. So you have those type of places. in the mall. And you are going to have things like glasses stores where you can get prescription glasses. You are going to have all of your kind of traditional stores, like you're going to have a Timberland store, you're going to have a Louis Vuitton, you're going to have, kind of those sort of brands that would be considered like Western brands. You're also going to have some stores that are more Eastern, and some that are specific to South Korea. But you're also going to have stores that are equivalent to maybe your Dollar Tree or Five Below or something like that, where you can get some quick little household goods if you need them. Then there are the attractions. So you're going to have a lot of times a movie theater in the mall. I know that's not unheard of. Like I said, Arundel Mills, Providence, they're going to have movie theaters in the mall as well. You're also going to have some attract like paint and paint type places. You know how you do like the paint and sip. So you're going to have those type of places where they have painting for not just kids, but also adults. Nice little date night, or date day. You can go in and enjoy those sort of things. There's the mall that we go to quite a bit. They even have like a little water park for kids that's in there. And so when you go to the mall, it's not just like, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm a window shop to get away from the rain. No, you're going there for an adventure, and parking is free. And one of the things that I love about parking, a lot of parking lots that we've encountered since we've been in South Korea, is that when you go in, it tells you how many spaces are available in each row. So you're not guessing, and you're not just going around from, row after row after row trying to find a parking space. It's very easy to find a parking space. You can remember where you parked really easily. And like I said, a lot of times parking is free. But another thing that I really appreciate is that you can have not just your traditional shopping experience, but one of the reasons why I go to Starfield Mall is to grocery shop. So, yes, I go to the mall, I will have my fun looking at the retail shops, and if I need a pair of shoes, or if I want a new dress, or if my kids need some clothes, or if my husband needs something, we can do all that sort of shopping. We can have some fun, we can kick back and see a movie or get some popcorn or something like that. But then before we leave, I can also do some grocery shopping and in the basement. And so you go down, and there are there's one shop they call like the Korean Costco, but you don't have to have a membership. But it has a lot of Costco type stuff, but it's more South Korean branded. And so I'll literally go, and it's like I've gotten everything I needed to do that day. I can go to the mall and do all that stuff. And I absolutely love that. And that's just like one mall that we go to a lot, the Starfield Mall. But they also have in South Korea a lot of malls that are attached to train stations. And so I can literally get on a train, go into Seoul, and when I stop at the train station, I'm at a mall. And I know there's one train stop that my kids love, because in the mall, not only is it 8 stories high, there's so many different types of stores. Like there's furniture stores and electronic stores and all of that sort of stuff in this mall. But my kids have a heart for it because they had a Marvel store. So you can get not only could you get Marvel comics, you can get all kind of figurines that we had never seen before. They look so realistic. They're so lifelike. They are not overly expensive when you're looking at it from an American dollar perspective. So I can't say whether or not it's expensive from the Korean won perspective or working on the Korean economy, but from a US dollar perspective, they were pretty reasonably priced when you're talking about collectibles. And they had, K-pop stores, anime stores, all that other sort of stuff. So it was also the one in the train station. They had more of a combination between like sit down restaurants where you're going to have a full meal versus some of the fast food and takeaway type restaurants, and some were Korean, more Korean, take, kind of quicker restaurants, and also some American quick takeaway restaurants. Like they had a KFC in there, and they had traditional KFC foods along with some other foods that you wouldn't see at a KFC in the United States. But that was, really a whole experience, 7-Eleven, all these sort of things there. And but you're telling yourself, like, this is the train station. I just got off the train. I was on my way to the museum, but there's a whole mall here. And so sometimes I'll just be like, let's just take the train and go to the mall. And so that's a really, really fun observation that I have about South Korea, something that might surprise a lot of people, because if you are going to visit and you see, oh, there's a mall, I would say give it a shot and consider taking a peek inside that mall, because you will probably be surprised at the amount of different types of stores and everything that are there, the different types of experiences that you can have, and also the fact that it's a full day where if I can do my grocery shopping, I feel like I've accomplished something, right? And so I don't feel like, hey, I just wasted a day at the mall. I feel like I've done something that was really important that I needed to do for my household anyway. And if I can have a good meal and it didn't cost me a lot of money from the US dollar perspective, and I can have some beautiful baked pastries that I can see were freshly baked and people made them with care, and like all of those sort of things, plus have some fun, paint a picture, or go into some other, have some nice experiences, have some beautiful views, do a lot of fun stuff. So it was really a nice surprise when we came to South Korea, seeing their mall culture is alive and well and thriving. Now, I'm not just being ultra capitalistic, right? A lot of it is nostalgia for me, because mall culture was my childhood, even though my childhood malls could not compare to the malls that I've experienced since being in South Korea. It still feels like something that, you just getting excited, because something that brought you some joy when you were younger, like to be able to, and it's dying out in a lot of places in your home, because like where I'm from, there was one mall, like I literally watched them all die while I was there. And then there's like one mall left in the city, and it's not very active, and it only has stores, to having this experience where it's back to, I can imagine being a teenager and being, like, let's go to the mall and we're going to be there literally all day. And even me as a midlifer going and saying, well, this trip is worth my time because I can get a ton of stuff done, from if I need to pick up some household goods, if I want to pick up some new clothing for myself, if I want to, like I said, pick up some groceries, if I want to have a nice meal, don't want to have to cook, and if I want to just walk around, get some indoor exercise. All of those things are possible, and I can do that in a mall in South Korea. And so that's something that I really wanted to share with you guys as kind of an interesting observation, because like I said, it's something that we don't see a lot in the United States, especially in some places like the South or the Midwest, or some of those areas where the malls have kind of died out. And so it was really neat to be able to see it and experience it and make that a part of my routine. And so if all else fails, if it's a rainy day or if I don't have something to do on my calendar, I can just hop on a train, stop at the mall, and have me some fun for the day. So I hope that was informative for you. Once again, this is Dr. J, the Midlife Writer. Bye-bye.